Hello and welcome to the DragonCon Goes Virtual BritTrack 2020 panel discussion on Black Mirror. Today, I am joined by Ryan. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Ryan Carey. I'm a volunteer at the BritTrack. It's my third year on BritTrack, and just been a huge Black Mirror fan for years now.
All right. Rob?
Hi, everybody. I am Robert Lloyd. Those of you who have been coming to the BritTrack for a while have seen me on a lot of panels, including Black Mirror panels. I'm an anthropologist and an ecologist at Georgia State University's Urban Studies Institute, and I am thrilled to be part of the first ever virtual DragonCon. Woo! And I have my own Black Mirror right here.
And Brian.
Hello, I am Brian Doob, a podcaster from Canada, serial BritTrack panelist, I guess. British Invaders, the podcast all about British science fiction television. Over the past 13 years or so, we've covered about 150 different British shows there, and always happy to talk about something like Black Mirror.
All right, and I'm Andy Hartley. I'm another BritTrack staffer. If you've been to a Black Mirror panel in the last 3 or 4 years, you've seen me. All right, so let's get into it. First off, I guess the first thing to talk about is I hear someone's thunder. That's oddly appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah, for the audience, we're recording this as there's a huge storm outside, at least depending on where you are for some of us.
Yeah, we're in 4 different locations, and 2 of them have thunderstorms. So, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
It's late August.
Yes.
So, I guess for the lack of new content, we'll get that first off out of the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Charlie Brooker, if not someone else, said that you could almost take it as the interactive movie was taken to the next level, and we're living in the 6th season of Black Mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We've gone through the looking glass.
Yes. It really does feel like it. And Charlie said the world is depressing enough that he's writing comedy right now to try to lighten his own mood. And so there's no telling when we'll get another season. It's, I looked it up right before we get on, and it's listed as not renewed or canceled. It's just sort of in limbo. So watch this space.
With Netflix, you never can tell. So who knows if there'll be more or not.
Yeah. And for British programming, it's been that way for decades anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
For a lot of us, this is just kind of par for the course.
Yeah, it'll be silent for 10 years and you get a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Could be.
I mean, we were talking. This is off topic, but Angela and my wife were talking the other day of Vicar of Dibley, which something like half of its total content is special episodes dribbled out.
Right.
And Netflix again is they I saw somewhere this week where they've pretty much made a policy that a show will get 2 seasons, and if it's not a giant cult hit, that's it.
Yeah.
They're just the ratings drop off so fast. They've got such a quantitative system built in that they just throw something else on the wall and see if it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is a very real question. Black Mirror, my own personal prediction is we're not going to get another season per se. We'll get occasional episodes.
Sure.
Something more like Bandersnatch. That kind of that's. And apparently Thor disagrees with me.
It's definitely cultish. It's definitely cultish, but is it enough of a hit for them to ring it?
Yeah.
And especially with the big names involved, I suspect production costs are higher than Netflix is used to, which could be an issue.
Yeah, typically for an anthology series, you get higher costs because you don't have the economies of scale of having the same sets, the same actors, the same locations, and so on recurring throughout a season. You get things that are very much one-off, and that is going to be a more expensive thing.
Hence why they only have like 3 or 4 episodes per season.
Yeah.
That's right, and that's why when Netflix came in, it had been on Channel 4 in the UK initially, and Channel 4 did not cancel it. Netflix actually outbid them for the renewal.
They poached it.
Pretty much, because they were able to offer the budget to do more episodes in a shorter time and bigger budget episodes as well. So they went with that.
Yeah, I saw Netflix described this week as the internet company that discovered an infinite cash cheat. They can just throw money at the problem.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. Although I guess it would be an interesting exercise to try to do a full season of Black Mirror using the same locations, same characters. But I don't know that that's really.
Yeah.
Now that's actually something that Charlie has talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
He doesn't know. He said he doesn't know what Black Mirror will look like going forward. It could be like what they've done. It could be just a single standalone occasionally. But he's also talked about doing multiple episodes following the same characters, like a traditional TV series. Maybe not necessarily a whole season of that, but like multi-parters, like 2 or 3 following the same people, spin-offs. It seems like he really isn't sure what way he wants to go, and he's trying to leave himself open for however, inspiration strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the beginning there was talk about maybe they would do the series with a host, sort of Rod Serling, Twilight Zone style, or perhaps this thing that's been done where you have one character who just shows up as a minor character in every episode. For some reason, he's just always there. They had toyed with those things at the beginning and ended up with, no, let's just keep them completely separate.
Except for little Easter eggs and things that pop up. But yeah, than that.
Black Mirror.
So you all heard that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than I think it's the Black Museum that ties most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in the same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been referred to as like a dream universe where it's not supposed to be a cohesive vision of the future, but things connect to each other rather than in a sort of definite, continuous way, in a dreamlike way where they reference each other and have similar things and what have you.
That's a really good way of putting it. Because that also makes it a lot easier for worrying about continuity, and really with some of the episodes that seem sort of end of the worldy.
Yes.
I'm thinking now, what's one with the robot dogs?
Oh, Metalhead. Yeah.
Metalhead.
Yes. I like that one.
Yeah, boy, man.
Yeah. that one still is probably scariest out of all of them because that could happen like tomorrow.
Half of these could happen like
tomorrow.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I mentioned this on panels before. Metalhead for a few reasons, I think, but that's one of the Black Mirrors that really stuck with me.
Yeah.
Partly because, as you say, it is so plausible, so present, but also the presentation of the critter and the way it was so exacting and so relentless. It lifts up its little thing and boom, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that it's based on not really a fail, but a canceled military project where they actually made those things. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
What
is it? Is it Boston Dynamic? I think
Boston Dynamics has,
Yeah. It doesn't have quite the capabilities, and I'm sure the programming, but
Yeah. Once they find a power source, they can make them. That's the way it's holding it back, and that's
Then
you like the
just the right evil genius to program it in the way that's needed.
It's like was it the most hated in the country or whatever with the little bee drones.
Hated in the Nation.
Yeah.
Hated in the Nation.
That's one of the ones that really sticks with me. Is Hated in the Nation.
Where
ditto. Yeah.
It takes one person to just unleash
hell.
And I can't remember if it had come out yet when that episode was in production, but pollination drones is something that has been proposed. I'm not sure if experimental work is being done yet, but it has been talked about.
It is. I saw an article. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of was the bee drones that hit the nation, because it was only in the last. I mean, since we've been on lockdown, I saw an article about where they are building artificial bees exactly like out of that episode.
And I don't know how many people realize how fundamental pollination, the way we do it currently, largely with people hauling beehives back and forth and letting colonies hit different plots, how fundamental that is to a lot of our agriculture.
Yes.
And if that shuts down, bees are having these problems with these mites that attack them, and with nicotine-based pesticides.
Yeah.
Colony collapse is a serious thing that we're having to deal with right now.
It really is.
And what this gets at is that Black Mirror is not anti-technology. It isn't saying this is all bad. It's talking about Charlie Brooker has described it, who created Black Mirror, has described it as the side effects. If technology is a drug, what are the side effects? So the bee drones are, something that was clearly required and beneficial in this vision of the future. And what we're looking at is the question, what could possibly go wrong? And these are some of the answers. What happens if someone hacks your bee drones? And a lot of them are sort of what could possibly go wrong. Metalhead as well. What happens when these whatever those cockroach robots are? What happens when they start getting beyond what we want them to be doing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the thread running through almost all of the episodes is a good idea that then intersects with bad people.
Yeah.
And not necessarily conscious bad actors, but just human nature. Most people are generally good most of the time, but everyone is sometimes.
Sure, yeah.
Some people more than others. And like the Bryce Dallas Howard, I am awful with episode names. I apologize.
Nosedive.
Don't worry.
Nosedive. Yeah, it's like I read.
I got it right here.
Yeah. Nosedive.
Yeah,
Nosedive behind it could be good. Giving everyone upvoting people, and you see it now with Yelp ratings and such.
Yeah,
it's a nice idea, but it can be implemented in a very negative way, and you get Nosedive.
It's like Hang the DJ with the whole online dating thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the online dating simulation hell.
Yeah.
What's the simulation like from the inside?
Yeah. So that's how they make algorithms.
I tell you, in my day job, I run Monte Carlo simulations fairly often.
Right.
I'm running, 10,000 iterations of something. And I think
about
an episode, every time I hit go, I'm like, what am I doing? But yeah, that's actually one of my favorite episodes in a lot of ways.
Nosedive or Hang the DJ?
Hang the DJ.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Partly because it is a little more hopeful than a lot of the Black Mirror. Like we were speaking offline, which is a terrible sin. Ryan and I, that he's one of the relatively few people who could binge watch Black Mirror happily.
I don't know if I would be a sociopath or what, but.
And also the difficulty I had a couple years ago preparing for the panel, and there was a lot going on. Yes. And I was trying to review everything and watching like 2 episodes a night starting at 10 p.m. every night. And that episode was so nice because it ended relatively upbeat. No one is trapped in misery forever. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's some misery that goes on, but it ends well.
Yeah.
So that along with
San Junipero is
Yeah,
sort of
like,
known for
yeah.
that.
That's the other. It's like, oh, this one, doesn't end in sobbing. That's yay.
And it's one of the most popular episodes too. You hear about it a lot.
Oh,
Sure, yeah.
No, it's
There's USS
Yeah, and
Callister.
it's memorable as not all of them, but many of them are memorable because of what they do with perspective.
Mhm.
And that's the case with San Junipero. That's the case with Hang the DJ as well.
yes.
I guess USS Callister you could argue has a happy ending. The people trapped in the game, they finally get their freedom.
Yeah. That's what I always kind of wanted to get. Not necessarily a sequel, but sort of where are they now update.
Yes.
That would be an interesting, probably more fan fiction-y kind of thing. But the continuing adventures of that crew.
Yes.
As anyone who's ever played a lot of MMORPGs, that's you kind of think about that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that could be a completely different series for sure.
Oh yeah, that's one of the. He's actually talked about spin-off series, is
right?
That Charlie stuff, which that was one that kind of leaps to mind as having more room for. Because many episodes sort of end like this. The story is concluded.
Yeah.
The main character's dead, or the problem's been solved, or what have you. That's one of the more open-ended.
Hated in the Nation has room in it as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, heck, I'll tell you what. First of all, that one was interesting because I think it was the first one that was really feature length. You could imagine going to the cinema and watch that one. But also that duo of the science detectives. I thought they were so terrific. Let's give them a series. See what else they run into. Killer mimetic virus. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
God, that's probably coming.
Yeah.
Either this show or next week on the 2020 bingo card.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's been killer mimetic virus for September.
Yes. It's right in behind the alien invasion.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I think I just wrote an episode. You see a meme? Well, for heaven's sake! Max Headroom did that with in the '80s with ads that make you explode.
Right.
And of course, Doctor Who in the '70s had a virus which was transmitted, through flashes of light. But the idea was it plants the idea in your head, and then it grows biologically from there. Terrific, forward-thinking stuff.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's what's scary is how much we are catching up to sci-fi.
Sure. Yeah.
Sort of as a civilization, a lot of the things that were the scary future in the 60s and 70s is currently in production.
Oh yeah. And of course, I've written about this for Alan Seiler's. Alan Seiler, who many viewers of Virtual BritTrack will know, for one of his publications about the Cybermen in Doctor Who, how they originally represented anxiety about artificial limbs, organ transplants, and things.
Yeah.
But of course, all that's an anxiety I think we've mostly gotten over. A lot of that's been normalized, and they've been proven terribly adaptive, if not obviously life-saving for people.
And with most new things, humans are generally good at accepting things once they've been exposed to it enough. And once you see it yourself, and it's not something you just read about, that's sort of the key to making people accept things. It's very easy to demonize an idea of this kidney from a murderer is going to take you over and make you a murderer. And then you meet somebody with a kidney and
there's a lot of technology that kind of resists at the beginning, and then after a while, it's like, oh, okay, well, everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, it's heck. As I record this, in the back corner over there is a little device from one of the largest corporations on the planet, listening to everything I say, just because I might want to turn the lights on. And it is amazing the world we live in like that.
Well, my goodness, flipping the switch was so much work. Do you remember that? Oh, how did we live?
Yeah. It is.
I have a friend, a woman I went to high school with, actually, but we're still in touch, and she actually gave her husband a kidney, donated one of her kidneys to her husband. So to go off your example from horror movies, that you would be infected by the soul of this person, it would be fun to speculate about them having a psychic link now. So now, do you understand your partner better than you did before? Oh no! Now she knows everything that I'm thinking. No. Oh.
Man, I did find it interesting that as far as like the acceptance of Black Mirror, that they used it on the Simpsons Thanksgiving of Horror episode this past season.
Did they?
Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah, they had a Black Mirror themed one where they had a whole bunch of just references to various episodes.
Okay.
Or basically, Marge is in basically the little making for like the Amazon devices or whatever, and controlling the house, and Homer's programming it, and so
that's something that never would have happened before the Netflix deal.
No.
That's the good thing about the Netflix deal.
Well, the visibility of it, the difference was huge, and that was, and there was an obvious difference in budget as well. As much as I love the earlier stuff.
Yeah. As we mentioned before about you start. Oh wait.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, guys. Sorry about that.
That's all right. But you mentioned earlier about the starting of episodes long enough to be considered movies, and that the Netflix episodes actually are, by Emmy consideration, movies. They are TV movies, not episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
you do have that. You see the sort of the cinematic values. The early episodes, I love them, but they do feel much more like what they are, an episode of a TV series. Whereas the later episodes, you've got more time and more budget to tell a convoluted, maybe the wrong word, but the word I'm going to use, a more convoluted story. There's more ins and outs.
An intricate story. An intricate story.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Bandersnatch you couldn't have done earlier in the run.
No, you can't do Bandersnatch really on any other platform.
No.
Bandersnatch with the interactive side of it is something that is very unusual and very much tied to that platform.
Mm-hmm.
What I found and what I've heard from most people is it was sort of a mixed success. There were things I liked about it, things that I thought didn't work quite as well. Mm-hmm. I think it was great. It's great that experiment was done, and I think Black Mirror was the right show to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's something that I would want to see repeated a lot or repeated as sort of a format choice for Black Mirror.
Well, heavens, I found it a little tiring, frankly, to have to keep going through iterations to explore all of the story that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, first world problems, but at the same time, oh boy, okay, yeah, I get it now. Thanks, Charlie. It was fun.
I really wish. I wish they had something where once you've seen a certain number of the different options, you get a button that you can just play all the versions. Because I don't want to have to go through an infinite number of repetitions to make sure I get everything. And I want to see them. I know to this day I've only seen about 80%, just because I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I wasn't writing down my choices, so I'm not sure what is still there. But no, like you're saying, Brian, I love that they did it. I would like to see it done, like other people do something like that. Mm-hmm. But I would not want this to be the format of Black Mirror going forward, period.
Yeah, I watched it twice. Once through basically thinking I had got pretty much what was in there. And then a second time where someone else was making the choices. The first time I was making the choices, watching it on my own. The second time I was sitting with someone else who was making the choices. And my favorite scene of it didn't show up when I was on my own. It showed up only in that second run. So, the varying opinions, you really don't know how much of it you've seen or how the version you've seen compares to what anyone else has seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the budget and the amount of filming was on the order of 3 episodes.
Yeah. It was
we went from 6-episode seasons to Bandersnatch plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why, because doing it was like doing 3.
Yeah,
exactly. I can't remember the exact number, but they recorded something like 8 or 9 hours of footage to make Bandersnatch. And some of that were, cuts that were just tossed to the side, but it was significantly more than what you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the writing challenge of building that thing would be a significant technical achievement, really.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And the way they used the technique and what it was about as part of the idea structure and the plot line of the show was very clever. I don't know if that made a more entertaining show or a better story, but it was very clever, and I was glad to see it.
It was very Black Mirror.
It was very Black Mirror. That's right.
It's very
and they did make the mistake of actually using the words "choose your own adventure" and got into legal trouble for that. And it was partly because they had as part of the story a choose your own adventure novel that the author went on to kill people. So that image they were projecting was not what the actual choose your own adventure company, which is still in business, or the IP is still owned by a company actively using it. That's not what they wanted to see as the image projected of that property.
Always check to make sure something's in the public domain before you.
Yes. Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the Choose Your Own Adventure books were novels where you could make choices and it would tell you which page to turn to. They started sometime in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Really? Was it that far back?
Oh, yeah. Was definitely, yeah.
Huh.
When I was into them in the mid 80s, I encountered some in the library that were late 70s.
Gotcha.
That was I was all into those in the heyday of the 80s, let me tell you.
And the numbers by then were way up into like the 60s or 70s. If you saw like number 1 or number 2, that was well back into the 70s, I think.
And there were other properties, other franchises that put out their own books along the same idea. There were Doctor Who, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So it was the whole deal.
And they all had different names that were not quite Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah. Find Your Fate.
Yeah, that was one of them. Or like Choice Stories, or there were a bunch of them. But Black Mirror, understandably, wanted to use the iconic name for this, and really should have checked that out a little better first.
Yeah.
And heck, I had forgotten about it till our conversation just now, but Kimmy Schmidt, another Netflix show, ran with that idea, and I haven't seen that yet, but I'll have to... Oh, sorry about that. I'll have to get back on it and see how it played out for that wacky bunch.
But they did like a Bandersnatch type?
And
that's my understanding, yeah.
I'll have to look for that.
There are a couple of animated kids shows that did that on Netflix as well. I think at a much simpler level.
Yeah. I've seen some of that. I have a 4-year-old, so I see.
You would know better than I would.
Section, yes. But no, I didn't know any of their live action shows had done that. I'll have to take a look. It is like I said, it's something I would like to see done in other formats. And Kimmy Schmidt is a perfect. It's like the polar opposite of Black Mirror in a lot of ways.
It's an interesting thing to experiment with. I don't think it's ever. I don't think it's the right choice as a sort of mainstay of entertainment or a primary approach for most things. It's sort of an odd little different thing to throw in occasionally at most.
Yeah,
but it's
produce
interesting
one
to
or two a
see what
year,
happens with that.
Period.
Yeah.
And that'll be fine. Yeah.
But, well, of course, I think everyone on this panel is of a certain age. I wonder if we had some Gen Zs on the panel, if they might feel differently. If an interactive story might be more normalized for them.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's possible we could get to the Star Trek holo novels deal, where you are able to interact with the story throughout. Rather than it being a completely passive thing which is delivered to you by omniscient narrator or whatever.
Yeah, and then you get to the question where, for that type of interactive content, is Netflix and a TV series kind of thing, is that the right vehicle for it, or should it be in something else? And I don't know the answer.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, you see something like that in a lot of the it's sort of a dying art form, but the single-player role-playing game, computer, Xbox,
right?
It's a very much like, I mean, I know when I play it, I often sort of dial the combat down, and you're playing it to see the story.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. Like they'll have like a story and sword mode, or it's more just driven by the story and the quest versus
BioWare used to be really known for that. One of their sort of advertising things that it feels like you're playing a movie.
Yeah,
and there is an interactive fiction genre that is more text driven as well. So there are things in the more on the game platform rather than the television platform.
I think that's where we're going to see the holo novel, which is, I mean, we're getting awfully close. I don't know if any of you guys a couple of months ago went and did the Doctor Who virtual reality experience.
I heard about that. Did you do that?
Yeah.
How was that?
We took Robin the Hat for his birthday, actually.
And Robin the Hat, Rob Bowen, another BritTrack mainstay, everybody.
Yes. But it really made me think about that sort of format. It's very immersive. I was a skeptic. I put on that headset, and it's wow. It's come a long way.
And I mean, we're straying somewhat from Black Mirror.
We are.
Nobody cares. I think we have a whole cross geek thing going on here at the BritTrack.
Yeah.
But this the Time Lord Victorious thing that Doctor Who is doing now, and what's the other one? The Crack in Time deal. They seem to be pushing the limits of how you tell a story in Doctor Who. They are making it multimedia and multi-platform.
Yeah.
And you probably can and will enjoy those adventures in whatever particular platform you come at them on. But then there's this whole other aspect of it that you can explore.
Yeah,
obviously this gives them more angles to engage viewers, put butts in seats and so forth.
Yeah.
But it can also be a richer experience for the viewer or the player or whoever.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have things from comics and novels and audiobooks that tell their own stories but tie into one sort of overall concept.
Yeah.
That could be interesting to do. Like, I don't know if they have Black Mirror comic books, but that could be an interesting avenue for them to take too.
Oh, heavens, yes.
Yeah.
That could be a very strong approach.
Yeah.
Someone get Brooker on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, I would be surprised if that subject hasn't been broached, but it could be terrific.
Yeah, it's probably
different writers, different artists.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exciting. I believe he writes every episode so far, hasn't he?
Almost.
There are some where he provides the story and someone else runs with it, or he co-writes.
He's co-written a number of them. There was one that he didn't write at all.
Okay.
That was The Entire History of You. That wasn't his.
Okay.
And then Nosedive, he wrote the story, and someone else wrote the teleplay for it.
Yeah.
It was Rashida
and there have been
Jones
a number of co-writes.
I
think that's right,
Yeah.
There have been a number of co-writes, but yeah, in almost all of them, he's been one of the writers involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. But who knows? You know, so many franchises have been have escaped from their originator. So who knows what someone else can do with the
and certainly, as you know, if he doesn't have as many story ideas, like we were saying earlier, he's really just wants to write something happy right now. He may be more willing to, to put it, let other people play in his world, and invite people in. I think, the comic books would be a marvelous way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, and he was coming at this from a satire direction. It's sort of unusual that he was working in comedy, but really in satire with some of his earlier projects with the Wipe series. There was News Wipe and Screen Wipe and so on, which were basically satire projects about the news or television from a particular year and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what Charlie Brooker was working in. And then I believe his first drama was Dead Set, which was essentially zombies attacking the Big Brother house.
Yeah, you told me about Dead Set, and I forgot all about it till this now.
It's weird. It's weird, but you can tell it's coming from that satire direction, and from someone who really knew the reality TV and Big Brother genre very well, and it was sort of much earlier in the current zombie, the zombie stuff that's been going on the last number of years. But that was sort of a 3-part or 5-part show that he did, and basically after that it was Black Mirror. So he's really coming at it from the satire direction and then into drama and into sci-fi and the like, rather than the more common approach of coming from drama or novels or something like that, and then satirical things being incorporated into that. He was coming from the other direction, and that's part of why Black Mirror looks how it does. And I think that's part of why things like comic books have appeal, because it's very much about those, satirizing things that we see in the world and asking those big questions. Okay, we have a good thing, but what could go wrong?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, terrific.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
Right now I have a scared puppy because we have thunder out here.
I'll say we've had fewer interruptions from the thunder god for a little bit.
Yeah. My cat is beside me. He wandered in shortly after we started, and I was hoping he would put in an appearance in what is now the classic Zoom, or what platform are we on here? I forget already.
StreamYard.
Yeah, the teleconference manner, but no such luck. Yeah. Boy, Brooker hasn't attacked pets yet, has he? I don't know if he has.
I don't think that he has.
We do have the ending of Crocodile.
Crocodile.
Yeah.
But he's dealt with sort of parenthood things with.
Sure,
yeah. There's a lot of parenthood.
The Archangel particularly did that, and sort of doing something from of that nature, but talking about their relationship with pets. Maybe there's something there. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, a virtual pet kind of a deal, maybe.
I could see that.
I could see that
from the perspective. God, that's actually kind of terrifying. Something from the perspective of the Tamagotchi, whatever.
Yeah.
A horrible famine has come in because the 8-year-old lost us in a drawer. That's like that.
Andy, I think you just wrote a Black Mirror special.
I think that was the segment in Black Museum about the teddy bear.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. Sort of along those lines. I need a hug.
Oh heck! And did Black Museum come out before or after Get Out? I was making a connection to the sunken place where you can only observe the things that your body is involved in.
I'm not sure about that.
Anyway, that was a digression. Yeah.
No, most of this panel's been a digression.
Well, lacking a new season.
The way I approached this in preparation was there's no material that we haven't already discussed at previous cons. So the people we want it from the crowd interactions we have. People are interested in the ideas, and so let's talk about the ideas. And that's
What do people think about the possible fascination with eyes and things being done with eyes? We have a number of episodes where things are connected to people's eyes in one way or another. It starts in the entire history of you, and we see things related to it in, is it White Christmas, the Christmas special? We see things related to eyes and vision there.
The Christmas special.
We see it, the Christmas special. Yeah, we see it again in Nosedive. And we see, and then USS Callister, we see the thing going into that world. Again through eyes. So eyes and vision seem to be a recurring thing that comes up as what the technology is playing with.
Yeah, and even I can't think of the name of the episode, but the military one where the soldiers are programmed to be as monsters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, another one where, the government's controlling what you see.
I think it was
something under fire.
Heavens, the two guys who go into the VR world and they play their game.
Yeah.
And it's their sublimated desires. But that one, I think, if it didn't involve contact lenses, there was something where the vision clouded out.
Turned on. Yeah, they sort of.
It's been a while now.
Stare into space.
Yeah.
It was like you put little things on your head. Yeah.
Someone must have done it already, but someone should do a paper about eyes in sci-fi and fantasy and changes in eyes and the vision. Yeah,
it's been sort of a recurring motif for millennia, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Egyptian art, has a lot of, and unfortunately, when I actually studied this was 20-something years ago, but it has a significant portion in Egyptian art, ancient Greek art. The eyes as window into the soul has been a common across many cultures for a long time. And I hadn't thought about that, Brian, before you mentioned it, but then as you're rattling off the examples, it's like,
either things being incorporated into vision, tying into vision, or the imagery of things connecting to people's eyes somehow, or people's eyes changing. That seems to have come up a number of times.
And of course, it's encoded in the title of the show, Black Mirror, because we, look at the image.
Yeah, so maybe that was part of the idea. And I think the title has sort of a double meaning as well, because there's this idea of, a black mirror is a screen. Your phone, your laptop, your computer monitor, when it's turned off, that's a black mirror because they tend to be reflective. But there's also the idea that this is a mirror being held up to society that we're looking at in this show, and it's showing us a dark image of society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's the phrase? Through a mirror darkly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole
Philip K. Dick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's through a scanner darkly.
Yeah, and there's
I think there's
through a mirror darkly was the kind of the Star Trek play on.
Is that
through
a
scanner
okay.
darkly? Yeah.
okay.
Through a glass darkly. I think it goes back even further, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because there's Ingmar Bergman, which was I think through.
Yeah,
glass
yeah.
darkly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to. That's another one. It's like I'm so tempted that I can bring up Google right here and look.
Yeah.
I will spare you that, gentleman.
Yes.
Do your own research, viewers at
Yes,
home.
do your own research. Yeah. Don't sit and watch my face as I Google things for 10 minutes. Compelling television here at BritTrack. That may be what we put on you at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the sidebar where we're sort of wrapping up. When we found out there were going to be 24-hour streaming, I lobbied hard to have just a camera watching. For those of you who came to the Queen sing-along last year, and we had the Queen present.
Oh yes, of
Put
course.
Rob back in his Queen outfit and just film him sleeping, and put that on. And I really wanted to have Caro in her. This is the director of the BritTrack, everyone. In her corgi outfit, come and wake him up because she needed to go pee, to be lit out, and that was shot down.
Queenie. Gosh, that would be hilarious. This is sort of Black Mirror adjacent, I guess. My first encounter with Big Brother was when I visited Ireland, and they had a lot of British television, beaming over,
Sure.
as well as their own stuff. But I turned on Big Brother, and it was just night vision of somebody asleep for like a long stretch. And I said, "My God, is this what Big Brother is?" And I guess the U.S. version was very, very different. Apparently, and y'all, again, do your own research or get back to us with your observations. But apparently, the original Big Brother was much more intensive, much more hardcore. So you did occasionally just have these long stretches of nothing happening, but that we could voyeur it regardless. Yeah.
I know when it originally came on in the States, there was, in addition to the TV show, there was a website you could go to just watch the camera.
Okay. Wow.
And because I had someone I knew did that, and they just like logged in the middle of the night. I was like, "Yup, it's just like a picture of someone sleeping for like an hour."
And now my partner Candace was telling me about it. These mukbang videos on YouTube of people just eating food.
Right.
Yeah, just eating food, different kinds of food, pasta, soup. I don't know, and I guess the sounds are accentuated, and maybe it has an erotic content for some people, but yeah.
There's
unboxing videos. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, there's so much on YouTube that I'm just puzzled by.
Right.
But then there's the stuff I watch, and I see my wife's reaction to it. So, hey, like, oh God, you watch that again? Yes. So hey, whatever floats your boat. But
I think some of the things you were talking about with early Big Brother stuff, I think Dead Set did riff on some of that.
Did they? Okay.
I need to watch. You mentioned
they had some original Big Brother cast in there. It's a strange show. It's not Black Mirror. It is it's an interesting one, but it's a strange show.
I've got to actually look that up this time. Like I said, you've told me about it 4 or 5 times, but it's always at like an 11 o'clock panel.
Yeah,
not functional.
Might have had a drink or two,
perhaps.
Yeah,
or certainly as soon as the panel was over, had a drink or 5. Yeah, for adults only, kids.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, our Black Mirror panels are usually BritTrack.
They're usually
the
last panel of the night.
Yeah,
that's our traditional.
But good heavens, every time we've done one, it has been packed, and we've always run.
Oh yes, because we love it.
This show generates so much discussion. I mean, we've talked about it for an hour, and we haven't even had a season for 2 years. So that'll tell you something.
Well, when we've done the in-person panels at Dragon Con, the audience has always been fantastic with the ideas and questions they've brought us. So this is a very different experience, but you can certainly see from those things we've done that there is a lot of interest, and a lot of things in many of the episodes really clicked for people.
That's another thing I'm really missing is the interaction with the crowd, because everyone has such wonderful thoughts, and I love riffing off the discussion. It's been good too, but
different. And that is it's one thing that I really wanted to hit about Dragon Con Virtual, having to talk about something like Black Mirror at this time that we're in now, and there's so much going on and things are so trying, but good heavens, look at how technology has enabled us at this time. We are able to do this. We're able to support each other long distance. I've been throwing so much money into virtual tip jars for online concerts and stuff, sharing information about the virus, about various social actions. It's been enabling in a lot of ways. Really.
It really has. It's in a lot of ways, it's a blessing that this came when it did. If something like this happened 10 years ago,
it would have been a different story.
Schools would have just been completely possibility of virtual schooling. It's fortunate it came sort of when it did. And with that, I think we're about to our end.
We are.
So before I run over, let me go ahead and I'd like to thank the panelists for being on here with us, and I would like to thank our audience for sticking with us and watching us. I hope you all had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
I hope you had nearly as much fun as I did recording it. Thank you all, and I have my written script I'm supposed to close with here.
Okay. Before you start that, let me say thanks to all three of you, and thanks to everybody watching, and stay well and safe.
Yes, stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, stay safe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks, guys. This has been great.
Let's see. Oh, that is what I was supposed to say. All right. Yeah, just thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next year in person, God willing.
Heck yeah, we're going to knock this virus right out.
You can find the BritTrack on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram by searching for BritTrack. We have lots and lots of content. We are putting up so much content on YouTube and Facebook and DCTV. So please come and find us. You can find our panelists here. It should be appearing on your screens. And okay, that's a lot. So everyone have a wonderful time. I can't wait to see you all, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, folks.